Did you know that Madonna recorded Hung Up with a cheap microphone?
What does this mean? What does this mean? Why does it matter what mic we recorded things on? Well, the different mics are good for different things, right? Like, so if you're starting a studio and you're putting together your setup and you're thinking about which mic you need to use, you have to consider a couple of things. And the first thing you should consider is price. And how expensive your microphone is not necessarily the most important aspect of things. I've recorded records on cheap microphones that went on to be big songs. And I've done whole songs on $15,000 microphones, and then those songs never saw the light of day. So is that indicative of the microphone that I'm using? Of course, like for instance, in his example, the NT2, the Rode NT2. It's actually a mic that I've used before, that I've had before. In the early days, before I could afford a really expensive microphone, I used the Rode NT2 for a good number of my recordings. Now, personally, I always found that the mid-range of the NT2 was a little boxy, and I could never really quite get away from the boxy tone of it. It's a good mic for recording like podcasts and stuff like that. But for the more musical aspect of it, I think it was a little more difficult for me to wrangle, so I ended up veering away from it. Not to say that it was a bad mic, it was just not the mic for me. But there are a lot of mics that are cheap. Here you go. Right here. Bam. This is a Shure SM7 microphone. This is the microphone that Michael Jackson famously used to record a lot of his hit records, like The Way You Make Me Feel and a lot of the songs on the Thriller record and Beat It. A lot of people knew that it was one of his favorite microphones to use, if not his favorite microphone to use. Now, this microphone is a $300 mic. That's it, $300. I have two of them here in my studio. I got this one and I got that one. But hold on, come with me. Take you on a tour here. This is my booth. This microphone is a reproduction of the Elam 251, the Telefunken Elam 251. This particular microphone was made by a company called Upton. Here, let me get this thing out of the way so you can see it. Great mic, not cheap. Recorded quite a few records on that mic too. And it's good for what it is. It does what it's supposed to do. And so there are a lot of different microphones you can use for a lot of different things. That particular mic is not a cheap microphone. It's not as expensive as the actual Telefunken Elam 251, but it's close. So look, whatever you use is whatever you use. You're setting up your studio, just use what's right for you.